All right. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much. All right.
Not much, same.
So you were OD in this game?
Yeah, who's usually I generally try to pick like OD or Silencer mid,
Okay.
and I like to think they're like probably my two best heroes. But yeah, I know that's not very
Hmm.
like meaningful considering I'm only 2K, but they're the two heroes I'm probably
No,
most.
yeah, it's fine. I understand what you're saying. Um, don't worry about it, like it being meaningful or not. Like, it's a video game.
Yeah, no, I mean
It's
it's just
cool.
like yeah, no, I just used to be like really serious in league, like really really serious, and I even played like amateur pro at one point, and so it's just like
Hmm.
I try to take like I kind of like I try to be really competitive with it, and I just switched to Dota, and I know how much it helps having someone that actually knows the game kind of
Right.
walk you through and just make sure you don't get into any bad habits. Essentially,
Yeah. Real quick though, what season did you play amateur? Because like I played as well. Maybe we played it against each other or something.
oh, do you know Severity Gaming in season two?
Severity Gaming. I will look them up really quick. It sounds familiar.
We have a couple pros that are actually LCS. Like the current top laner for Team Liquid is used to be our top laner,
Hmm.
like our low, and then we had I know like if you know RF Legendary, he was on Severity Gaming for a while.
Yep. Yep. I played with both those guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I won't talk about that too much, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
favorite Dota. Okay.
Just
So
curious, what was your highest rating then when you played League?
I think I was like rank 11 challenger highest.
Was that season three?
I think it was season 3. It was like the first season that challenger came out, I
Yeah,
believe.
it was season three because I was
Yeah.
like
Okay.
2100 in season two, and then I
Mm.
kind of quit for season three and four. Then I got to Diamond five in season five, and I haven't really played since.
Okay. Yep.
All right, awesome. So yeah, now you're like 6K in Dota, which is incredibly impressive. That's like cool as hell.
Oh, I mean, I'd like to be higher, but they gotta
Yeah.
work.
Do you play with pros at 6K?
Yeah, you start playing with NA pros around like 5K
Oh,
because
okay.
there aren't a whole lot of 6K players. So
Yeah.
like that's just the way the games work out.
Yeah.
All right. So can you see my screen just fine in this
Oh,
skip call?
let me. I actually had it open on my Dota screen, but I guess it makes sense for. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this just lets me like explain things much better. So
Yeah,
we can go at
awesome.
my pace or whatever. All right. So we're OD. We have a really weird composition here. It looks like
Yeah.
Ursa jungle, Lion support, Timber offlane. Were you safe lane in this game?
Oh, I was mid.
Okay. So you had safe lane DP. That's interesting. Okay. So your mid, you go for the standard null talisman fairy fires. This is totally fine. No issues with this. One good habit to do at the start of the game is like you want to identify or try to at least guess like which hero you're going to be laning against.
Yeah.
If I were to guess just looking at the heroes, it would be Tiny, maybe
Okay.
Pudge, but
Yeah.
and
I think
sorry, go ahead.
I think I ended up playing as Legion Commander. Maybe not. I
Hmm.
can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, she's a pretty good mid hero, but you should beat her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this build is fine in this case. But the reason this is important is because some matchups you need to start with like extra regen or a magic wand or something similar. Like if you're playing against Zeus, for example, then it's really good to start with a stick.
Right. And is that because you spam so many spells, you just get charges on it naturally?
Yeah, like Zeus basically, it's really hard for him to CS against you as OD since you just have a huge range and base damage advantage, and
Yeah.
you can just bully him out of lane with that. So he has to CS with Arc Lightning. So you know
Yeah.
every time he goes for a CS, you're gonna get a stick charge.
Right. That makes
So
sense.
that's important.
The battle begins.
Somebody Phoenix is trying to do that, but it's funny. All right.
Does that actually work? Like, can you get the rune?
Yep, you can. You just have to time it like properly.
Right. Right.
It's pretty good. One thing here, you really want to take advantage of this little window that you have to block the creeps. It
Right.
really does matter. Like right now, you could be standing here and like running back towards the creeps. It won't make a huge difference, but it does make a difference. And you know that's what Dota's about. It's about like gaining small advantages wherever you can.
Yeah.
So the creep wave would be like slightly back here,
Yeah.
closer to your hill. Okay. I want to talk about this as well. This is something that a lot of people do in low MMRs. They will just like get sucked into what their teammates are doing. Like right now you see that people are, fighting bottom, so you're like, oh my god, my team's fighting. I have to go help them. That like I'm the mid, I have to go help. But really, you don't have to. Like it's different if you can guaranteed get kills for yourself. Like you see a bunch of low heroes, and you can get there in time. But in this case, you're not gonna do anything. And at this point, even if you do get this kill, like it's not gonna be worth all of this that you missed out on mid.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely wasted a lot of time there.
Yeah. And now this Pudge, who I'm assuming you're laning against, is going to have like a serious XP advantage on you. So this matchup that is normally very OD favored, it could swing his way because he has a kill opportunity here.
Right, that makes sense.
Okay. So definitely, the biggest lesson there is just like chill out, do your thing. You should play selfishly for a while. Still, well, obviously, still keeping the team in mind, but yeah. Okay. There were a couple of things here.
I should have, I think, used my Fairy Fire a little bit earlier so that I could use my second one.
Yeah, that was one of the things, but that's small in the grand scheme of things. This mattered quite a bit. Like this little instance where you're tanking a lot of damage. I think the UI is bugged out here. You're not level 2 yet. You're just level 1. Like you haven't, had enough creeps to get level 2, so it's just a bug. But right here, you're tanking 2 creeps, and like
I think I am level 2 because I got the bounty rune.
You don't get level 2 off that. You would have to get a kill or like something else. Basically,
because I have Q and W right now.
No, it's a UI bug. So you just leveled up and you went to Q.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So okay, let's go back. All right. So it might not seem like a big deal that you're just taking a little bit of damage from these creeps, but it's really gonna pay off later. Like right now you should be switching the aggro to your creeps. So you issue an attack command on your range creep, and while you won't attack the range creep, it will the game will acknowledge that you're not trying to attack the Pudge or the enemy creeps anymore, and that will switch the aggro so that the melee creep will attack your range creep, and this will save you like 60-70 HP.
Right. Okay. So if I'm ever getting targeted, it's just to A command with my own minions, and then that would redirect the aggro. Okay, I didn't know that. Cool.
Okay. So here in this fight where you're down 70 HP and you barely get away or you barely die to the range creep hit, it would have saved you. So that was one small thing.
Yep.
Also, when you were approaching this fight, you have to realize that Pudge is level 2 because he had that XP advantage on you since you were doing this bottom lane thing.
Yeah.
So you have to acknowledge that he's going to try to hook you into tower. That's just like the textbook Pudge play.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, instead of just sitting in place like this, you can attack and then move a little bit closer to the creeps, and then attack again, then move a little bit closer to the creeps.
Right, and then that would make so he has to hook the creep.
Right. So you want to keep your positioning in mind while you're doing this kind of thing.
Alright, that makes sense.
Okay. So you did end up killing him. It sucks that you died. It sucks a lot actually, but it's okay. You definitely want to TP back to lane here. This is super inefficient. Maybe, yeah, it's super inefficient. Like, okay, it's definitely a League of Legends habit. Like, 100% it is.
Yeah,
I used to do this all the time.
Because usually you don't want to TP if the lane is pushed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. But basically, like, not only is the rune spawning at this time, so you would have been there in time to get a rune, like a bounty rune or something. But yeah. So it's pretty bad to not do this. You definitely want to TP as soon as you can.
Okay.
At least early on. That's when it matters most.
Right.
Okay. You also you had a lot of gold here, so you could have very easily bought something. Normally ODs don't go for bottle, if I recall correctly, like when they're mid. It might seem weird because mid just go for bottle, but this hero doesn't really need it so much. He needs some sort of health regen, which I'm not really sure what they go for usually, to be honest, but you can find ways to get it. So alternatively, you could have gone boots, which is a really good item against Pudge. It's very high value. Or you could have gone for like a magic wand, like the fully upgraded version, something like that. Okay. So here you're going for the rune. I don't like this so much. It's like it's not horrible, but okay, this is bad. this little room. All right, so let's talk about the bounty rune first.
Okay.
So the lane is in like a very opportunistic like spot for you. Like it's really hard for Pudge to hit a hook on you because of this
Yeah.
creep wave. He has to like go in the river or walk up here in order to even think about hooking. It's really tough. He also can't walk up to the creep wave because you're OD and you're just gonna hit him with Arcane Orb and do 1,000,000 damage, take his int, etc. So when you're abandoning the lane like this to get the bounty rune, you're basically trading like, you know, around 2 CS for the guaranteed gold from the bounty rune. So it's not really worth it. And it also gives Pudge an opportunity to reset the creep wave here. Like if he wanted, and if he was a good player, he would be pushing really hard right now, so that the wave would push into your tower and then push back to him.
Okay. That makes sense, actually.
So definitely just, unless you're like super low and you have a bottle and you need the regen from the rune, just stay in lane. There's pretty much no point to go for the rune.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's perfectly fine to just like let your line get the XP and the golds. He could use it really well.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay.
So the bounty rune isn't strictly, so the runes strictly aren't like mid laner things then. Like it's very.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, people see it as that way. Like the mid buys the bottle and then he gets the runes. That's like, you know, the very elementary way to look at it. But it's definitely not just a mid lane thing. It's whoever can use it best. That's what really matters.
That makes sense.
It's similar to blue buff in League. Like sometimes there are junglers where, you know, they really benefit from getting blue, even though the mid is like traditionally the person who takes it.
Yeah, because if you got like an Amumu or a Fiddle jungle, you're gonna want to have them have blue instead of you.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, awesome. That's a good comparison.
Okay. Okay. You definitely want to buy boots as early as possible here, though.
Okay.
Basically, like, the biggest reason for that is Pudge is like a very position-dependent hero, like in many different ways. He needs to be in position to hook people. He needs to be in position to like be in rot distance, so he can get the slow and damage off. He needs enemies to be out of position to hook them. So
Right.
the movement speed is like very high value as him, or against him rather. Okay, someone's casually feeding the courier. Alright.
I remember that. DP had actually just killed the courier before that time.
That's rough. Alright. Not much you can do about that, but it's okay. I mean, that's something you can't prevent if you're like, you know, really on the ball, like paying attention.
And just like hold it back as soon as I see it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Or just redirect it.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely want to buy boots here.
Should I have tried to make an effort to save the witch doctor? Because I know he gets like really mad and just spam pings me. But should I have made the effort to try to save the DP there?
Quite unlikely. Let's see exactly what happened though. I don't usually pay attention to like teammate stuff at this MMR because it's just like it's so mind-boggling sometimes. Like it's better to just focus on individual play. But no, this guy is pretty dead. Like maybe if he was higher level, that would be okay. But basically, he can only soul siphon one person, so he's not going to get like too much HP, and he's not going to run very fast. Maybe right here you could have like astraled the DP,
Yeah.
and then, you know, turn a fight afterwards. But basically, like, I think your mistake was not ignoring the DP. It was not even looking and like seeing what was going on. So like, let's look at your player perspective here. So this is your camera. You start running, you know, down here. You saw what was going on here, but you didn't check afterward. Like you had no idea what DP's pathing was unless you were looking at the minimap the whole time. Yeah, I think she might have lived if you astraled her, like right here.
Yeah.
And like then she soul siphons afterward, but it's pretty hard to judge. And like Pudge has to miss his hook no matter what, so it's a tough play. But let's just say your mistake was not being aware of like what exactly was going on during this whole time.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so definitely try to just be more map aware.
Yeah. Like not just looking at the map though. Like really try to actively look at like what's going on. Like exactly. It's hard for me to explain here. Basically, just like move your camera instead of just looking at the minimap. Like you need to be able to take in information this way. And even if you don't like if you just look at a random team fight that's happening, like this one, even if you look at it for like a split second, you'll be getting enough information, like subconsciously, that you'll be able to make a better decision.
Right. If it's a good idea, maybe roam bot like soon or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This
Awesome.
this is like one of the biggest parts of Dota, I think. It's just gathering information and trying to make decisions based off that.
Yeah. It is my like my map usage good because like when I try to see when I was like watching high level Dota pros, they're constantly like flicking between like different screens.
Yep.
And is that just to see like what's going on in the other lanes?
Yeah, it is most of the time. Also, this is another big thing is like if you watch RTZ play, he'll just be like constantly moving around the map like this, like flicking his mouse, and like it'll seem like he's just being stupid and like an ADD kid, like just he's bored so he's clicking on things, but like he's actually getting information. Like he's clicking on Ursa to seeing what his items are. He sees his mana. He clicks on Lion really quick. He has 4 stick charges. Keeps a mental note of that. He looks at CM. Okay, no mana. She doesn't have any boots either. I can chase her down. All right, looking at Tiny. He doesn't have boots either. All right, he's going Quelling Blade. Blah blah blah. Like they're getting information this way, and like that's super important. I think that alone will like really help you. It's more beneficial to like a professional player because they can use that information better, but it's still very helpful for you, and
Yeah,
it's a good habit.
Yeah, that's exactly like the kind of stuff that I want to learn is like the good habits to pick up now.
Yep.
So just like flick around the map and there's like nothing going on in mid lane and just try to learn what's going on the map.
Yeah. Obviously, like when you're in the middle of a 1v1 lane where like you're both trading with each other, it's really hard to do this. So don't worry about it so much, but it's still a good habit.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, you definitely want to buy boots way earlier than this. It's pretty important.
That makes sense.
I know in League there was that update where like they halved the movement speed of boots and gave every hero half like of the boots movement speed or whatever.
Yeah.
That did not happen in Dota, so boots are super important. They're like almost always your second item after a bottle.
Okay. I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah. So you do go for. Looks like you're saving up for treads or something.
Yeah, I think I go I usually go treads just because the int is pretty useful for anyone that doesn't have int. And here I'm like debating if I want to gank top.
Yeah. All right. So I want to talk about something like just before that, real quick though.
Okay.
Basically, whenever rune is spawning, you want to actively push out the wave as best as you can, like as safely as you can. Because like right here, you're just walking to the rune at 5 minutes and 35 seconds. So you're gonna be sitting here for minimum 20 seconds, doing nothing. Where you could be like pushing this creep wave and like getting more out of your lane.
Right.
Like this whole period of inefficiency is it's pretty bad. Like you're not getting anything extra out of this. Also, like they have a ward up here on the rune, which is very common. So like for 20 seconds, you're just sitting in this vision range. Like where here, let's look at what the enemy sees. Okay. So the ward doesn't actually see the rune for whatever reason, but yeah, they still see you. Like you can see on the minimap here for a little bit. Whereas before, like you could be pushing out this wave, and they would still see you, but you would be getting creeps in exchange for that. So that would be okay. Alright, so you were thinking about ganking top, and it's not a horrible idea. It's pretty hard though. Like basically, you have to consider what hero you're ganking and what heroes are going to help you with the gank. Let's look at it. So, ideally, if you're considering ganking, then you're looking at him beforehand, like what's going on beforehand, like what spells he's using, how much HP he has, etc. And you should basically know that if he uses Icarus Dive and he does not have Supernova, then you can kill him. But if he has both of those spells, then it's impossible to kill him, unless he just doesn't cast those spells, in which case he would die no matter what. But yeah.
Because like I didn't actually know what Phoenix's abilities were before this game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a lot of heroes where I still don't really know what they do, and so that's kind of like I've been trying to like not be so ignorant about that. But yeah, here I thought I could kill her, but
yeah,
if I actually end up doing it, no.
No. There's no way. Like, real quick, how long have you been playing Dota? Like, how many games do you have?
How many games do I have?
Yeah, just roughly.
Let me see. I have it. Well, I have 1,000 hours played, but that's also does that consider for idle time just sitting?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of idle time, probably around half of that, because I don't ever close any programs on my computer.
Okay.
And so how many games I have? I'm level 29.
You can look at your Dota buff. And that would be fine
Oh,
too.
okay. Right. Let's go to actually I have it pulled up right here. Oh, wow, it doesn't actually tell me. Yeah, I was going to Dota about Feel Fast.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I just started playing like seriously, like actually trying to rank up and do solo queue. So I have 540 games played total.
Okay. So that is not many. That's putting it lightly.
Yeah.
You're still like very very new to Dota. That's fine. Okay, so it's acceptable for you to not like know what every hero does. Um, I want to make a note of this right now though, so I'm gonna type something in Skype real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So we can move on with this game, but I want to talk about something after that I think will help.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about what happened with this gank.
Right.
So
think
basically, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, I think a lot of this was me not really knowing that Phoenix can get away as easily as she did.
Yep.
And I learned that very quickly that I can't really gank her anymore unless she commits with her Icarus dive.
Mhm.
And then after she's like used it, then I can try to commit to it. But until then, she's pretty safe because she can just use it to escape.
Right.
I guess the other thing is she's really hard to dive because she has her like Anivia rebirth egg thing.
Yep. So
yeah.
basically, like the way Phoenix works is, if she gets Supernova off, like if the egg completes and it doesn't die in that duration, then her abilities get reset. Not
okay.
Supernova. So that's why she has the second Icarus dive here.
That makes sense. I didn't know that her abilities reset. Okay.
Yep.
Dire's
So
top
that's the
tower
biggest
is
thing.
under attack.
So it's
Okay.
a pretty hard kill.
Okay.
You guys could kill her if she supernovas. Like generally it takes about 2 heroes just right clicking. As long as she doesn't land her fire spirits.
Right.
Like, do you know what fire spirits do? They like slow attack speed. They do damage.
Hang on, each fire can be. I kind of know what they do, but not really.
Okay. No, that's
each-
fine. I can just explain it really quick.
Okay.
It'll be like faster. Basically, it's a damage over time, and it significantly slows attack speed. And it's also like a skill shot thing.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering why I couldn't attack her.
Right. Yeah. So if she lands that on you, like the standard combo is to Icarus dive on somebody and then fire spirit them and then supernova, because then their attack speed is very slow and they can't kill the egg, and
Right.
like they have to make the decision to just try to kill the egg or run away. That's like the gist of Phoenix.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, it's like a crash course kind of thing. All right.
Yeah.
So you spent a lot of time this game just running around and like trying to do stuff, but really your job as OD, like you're a farming mid hero, and what I mean by that is like your job is to farm as much as you can and only go to key fights, like fights that you know for sure that you're going to come out ahead on. Like otherwise, your job is to farm and scale as best as you can, at least
Okay.
until you have like key items. Like I would say Rod of Atos, Dragonlance, Treads, these sort of things.
Right, that makes sense. Oh, I missed this CS so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm gonna try to not to just like say you should last hit more. I don't think that's particularly helpful. You should. I can talk about stuff afterwards that are related to that, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just like getting used to the auto attack animation in this game is kind of like different because everything's a lot longer.
Yep,
But
for sure.
yeah. And just
Yeah.
getting used to like
Also, most heroes have high turn rates,
yeah.
like in comparison to League, so certainly tricky. Again, you go for the rune like way too early here. You should like either push this out or like go stack a camp and then run here.
Right, I should
something like
definitely
that.
because I didn't want to push. So my like thinking here was I don't want to push because I'm gonna be overextended and I'm gonna be on their high ground, which means my team's not gonna really be able to help me, and I don't really know where Legion Commander is, and I didn't know if he would be 6 by now. But I kind of assumed he was 6 by now. Oh, he's
Oh,
not.
you can look at the scoreboard. This is always updated. Yeah, this is always updated, even if they're just in fog. That's
Okay.
one difference from League. That's really big. So definitely keep the habit of, or try to build on the habit of opening this up a lot and checking levels. It's a very healthy thing. All right, so you end up going for Phoenix again. Again, I already told you like there's no way you can do this, so
Yeah.
it's pretty tough. Also, one thing is you never seem to use the courier. Like you're the mid. You have top priority on the courier no matter what.
Okay.
Like people might get mad at you for it or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like they're 2K, who cares? Basically, like, that may sound really mean, but
No, no,
I'm being real here.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah. Basically, like, you should send out the courier when you have brown boots or like any small item. Uh, it. I don't recommend doing it for like just let's say a circlet, but a null talisman, yes, and a fully completed wand, yes. Like
Okay.
these are only like 400 gold items, but they really help you. Like they're very slot efficient.
Yeah. Because like one thing that I tend to like do that it's kind of like my league habit is like
Mm.
you don't really lose gold in Dota, and just would get like you don't really need to go back or buy very often if you're kind of just like killing people. Because like so for instance, when I'm playing like jungle, I'll just go and try to gank, and I guess that's just different. Like you don't really need to go back until you're actually low on health because you just have
Right.
a lead over anyone anyway. But I guess like especially in Dota, it's important to always kind of be updated with what items you have.
Yeah, it's really really important, especially as a hero like OD,
Right.
where
Besides.
every item you get really helps.
Mhm.
Okay. So moving on, you got treads. Pretty underfarmed for this point in the game, but it's okay.
Like what kind of like CS kind of goals should I be looking at? Like I know by 10 minutes is usually like 90. I don't know what it is in Dota.
I will. So the perfect CS in mid lane is something like 80 at 10 minutes.
Okay.
Basically, like you want to aim for that. Realistic goals, if you're laning against somebody, are like 50 to 60.
Okay.
But definitely aim for like absolute max. Aim for not missing any.
Right. That makes sense.
Also, don't worry about the numbers so much. Just do your best to get as many as you possibly can.
Okay.
That alone will help you.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Okay.
attack.
So moving on, you want to start thinking about your item progression as soon as the game starts.
Okay.
In this game, here let's watch this fight first. See what you do. That
I
should
know
be
he
very-
told me this was just
Yeah. Okay, that was fine.
Dire's
Oh, you didn't have to
middle
Astral
tower
yourself,
is under
but I
attack.
mean, it's whatever.
I just kind of assumed because there's like I'm not really sure all the abilities yet that maybe I have like a dot or something,
Yeah.
but he doesn't obviously.
Dire's middle
Yeah,
tower
he does not.
is under attack.
It's all like burst or rot damage.
Yeah.
So that was fine. You got the kill. It's good. He went way too aggressive on you. There's absolutely no way he can kill you. Like just doing that. So good job. Good job. Like I was saying earlier, though, definitely like as soon as the game starts, like as soon as you see heroes that are being selected, you want to start thinking about how your item build is going to change. Like every hero has a cookie cutter build
Yeah.
that you start off with, but you want to be able to adjust your build as the game goes on. So like just looking at this game, I think a BKB is going to be necessary, you know, way later on down the road because they have CM Frostbite, they have Tiny's combo, it's very potent. Phoenix also demands BKB because of her attack speed slow and Supernova.
hmm
It's okay against Pudge, but it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks against Legion too, but you'll definitely need it later on.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I face Legion a lot. I'm not really sure what I can do to stop his blink ult.
You can get a Lincoln Sphere,
Okay.
and that's one of the things, but mainly it's a positioning thing. Like you just want to be in a place where if she does that, then she has to, you know, face the wrath of your teammates going in as well.
Right. That makes sense.
That's the biggest thing for sure. Items in this game are a bit interesting. Like this particular game, not in Dota. I think you can go for an Atos, and it's pretty good. Like it's a bit iffy because they have Pudge with a blink already, and it's not very good against Phoenix Icarus dive. But
Yeah.
the rest of the heroes, you can just Atos and hit them and chase them down, and it's quite good.
Right. Okay.
Also, Dragonlance would be very good. You can benefit from the extra range, mainly because CM's Frostbite is really short range. So
Okay.
any additional attack speed range or attack range that you have will like really help out in killing this hero. Also, the extra attack range is beneficial against Supernova because you can effectively like get more hits off.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay, so that's an item you want to keep in mind
Okay.
on this hero. It's quite good.
Yep.
All right. So you're really obsessed with this Phoenix, I can see.
Yeah. I was like tilting at this point. I have to kill him. I have to kill him.
Yeah. That's one of the worst things you can do. I mean, it's not helpful to say you
Radiant's
shouldn't
middle
tilt.
tower
It's like
is under
that's
attack.
you know, if it were that easy, then nobody would ever do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely don't worry about it so much. The best thing you can do later on is just like farm up and kill him later with your superior gold advantage. Also, like it's pretty tricky because Pudge has been off the map for a while, and so has Legion. But you really want to try to apply more pressure than you are right now. Like Basically, whenever you just go off and like sit on your hill like this, you're not doing anything. Like you're not helping your team at all. You're not dying, which is good, but you need to be doing something else, like either going to farm a neutral camp, or going to get a rune, or hitting this tower, something like that. Like
Right.
you never want to be in this situation where you're just on your hill doing nothing. You always
Right.
want to be looking for the next thing to do, and that's tricky. Like that's probably one of the trickier things in Dota is just like being really efficient. Like you can never be perfectly efficient with everything. So also, what was your reasoning for this? Like what was your plan here?
So I wanted to gank bot lane, but I kind of assumed that they were just back. I didn't even think. I don't know, something happened, but I got double damage, and I felt like kind of like king of the world. I'm like, okay, I can go kill anyone. And then
Okay.
I think they just had vision on me, and I just kind of like face checked the high ground.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, I even remember kind of like thinking to myself, okay, I should probably not go in high ground when we have no vision.
Yeah.
And they're not on the map anyway, because they weren't on the map. Like, that's just me playing very poorly.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. You can generally assume that even at very low MMRs, that the runes are always going to be warded. At least, you know, for the first 10 to 20 minutes or whatever. This is the most common ward spot. And you can see here that they do have a ward here, so that's how they saw. This is just like a buffet. You're just walking up here and feeding. Trying to solve ward hunger. It's okay then. I mean, it happens. Like, you have to learn these lessons by just playing, so I'm not gonna go ham on you or anything, so it's fine. Alright. Also, one thing, when you go for Atos, which I assume you're going for, maybe you're going for Force. Okay, it's fine if you go for Staff of Wizardry then. But specifically, if you do plan on going Atos first, then you always want to buy the Vitality Booster.
Okay.
It's just better to have HP over the int.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's pretty much it. But if you're going Force, then the Staff of Wizardry is fine. Okay.
Dire's middle tower is under Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Roshan has fallen to the Dire. Dire's top tower.
Let's talk about all this. Alright, so first mistake was not knowing exactly what you wanted to do, you know, while this is going on. You waited too long to TP to where you wanted to go, and I also think you TP to the wrong place in this instance. But you generally want to, like, before you even get back to base, you want to decide where you're going to go next
Radiant's
after you know,
bottom
heal
tower
up
is
in
under
base.
attack.
Okay.
So
that
like
makes sense.
when you're running back or whatever, you know, that's how it is. I also think it's a mistake to TP up here, mainly because like the enemy does not even have to do anything up here. Like if they see you TP and you show in lane or whatever, they can just, you know, run away, and then you just wasted like 40 seconds of being up here, unless you decide to take farm or whatever, which is fine. But in the meantime, you lost a lot of, you know, XP and gold mid. You could have been pressuring that the whole time.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Okay, let's look at the actual fight.
Oh, I remember almost killing Tiny here, but I made a really dumb mistake, and I used my ult too early.
Okay.
I think that was my bad play. I mean, it was still a bad play, but I think that play would have been better had I actually killed the Tiny, even though we both died. Yeah. Because I was pretty confident that I could kill anyone on the map right now because I had the int one, and then I used my ult there, thinking to kill him, and then no, I should have got one more auto and then done it. And then here, I was pretty angry.
Yeah, you didn't have many options here, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, like you said, you missed a kill on the Tiny. Also, because Phoenix, like again, you said you didn't know what Phoenix did when you were playing this, so it's understandable. But basically, unless you're hitting Phoenix's egg from like the very start of when she uses it, you're not gonna get this egg. You're not gonna kill the egg. So you should just back off out of the range and try to avoid the stun. Especially in this case, where like you didn't even start hitting the egg until it was like almost halfway over.
Right, that makes sense.
So we die. It's becoming an issue now. Basically, like, I'll just talk about it after. Actually, like, we'll.
Yeah, it's definitely probably my worst game on OD.
Okay.
This is my salt ult chat.
Yeah, this doesn't help you at all. Like, there's no point doing that. Get like I'm dead serious. Like, get a stress ball or something if you feel the need to all shot. just every time you go for like the all chat salts and just squeeze that or something. That helped me so much, dude. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Really?
it seems so corny, but
Radiant's
seriously, yeah.
bottom tower is
I had
under
really
attack.
big issues with all chatting in this game.
I think this is one of my really angry
Radiant's
games.
bottom tower
I can't
has
remember,
fallen.
so
Okay.
please don't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge you. The Dota brings out the worst in everyone. Don't worry about it. It's definitely like from a practical standpoint, though. All chatting doesn't help you at all. It's very, in fact, it hurts you quite a bit. Like in terms of just trying to get better, because you're distracted by that rather than just focusing on the game.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh no, that's pretty much what I was gonna say, like the all chat thing.
Okay. Sure. And at this point, why did you decide to lane top?
Oh, I think Timber was getting like mad. I think or something. I think something had happened. I think I was gonna swap with him,
Okay.
but I can't really
Radiant's
remember
top
too
tower
well.
is under
Okay. Well, regardless of like what happened between you guys, this is an inefficient play just because like you have two core heroes, meaning like you have two heroes who are not supports farming the same lane. So it's just like it'd be like if your AD carried in League just randomly TP'd or ran mid at 5 minutes and just started farming with the mid hero. It doesn't make any sense. It's really inefficient.
Right, that makes sense. Okay.
Radiant's top tower.
Now it's
is
different
under
if you
attack.
did plan on pushing this tower, but I don't think you're strong enough to do this yet. So
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
okay, Legion just
Radiant's
Vendors.
top tower is under attack.
But then she comes back, which is really weird.
Radiant structures are Radiant's top tower is falling.
Okay. This is really like an odd structure of a fight. It's just like actually Pudge just runs at you guys, and that's how it initiates. Alright. Okay. That was really odd. I don't even know what to say about this. Like, basically, you just have to keep in mind like where the enemies could be on the map, and try to position accordingly. Basically, you guys just stuck around for too long after you got the tower.
Yeah.
I'm not even really sure like if that's helpful to say or not, but I mean that's all I got here for this situation. So
No, I
Just,
just,
yeah, it's really not helpful for me to just say like you shouldn't have been there or whatever. So I'm trying to like find a good reason, but like that's what I got. All right. Let's move on.
I didn't think this game was a 4v5. But I guess
Radiant's
it
middle
was.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, it doesn't matter so much if it's 4v5 or not. What really matters is like who disconnects and how you guys play around that. Alright. So I
That's
think,
canceling my TP.
yeah, okay. So there's a command you can do to stop this. It's right here in options.
Okay.
Where is it? Teleport requires stop. Basically, in order for your TP to be cancelled, you have to hit S. So if you hit anything else, like you issue a move command while you're TPing, it won't cancel it.
I just turned that on, literally.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I've done that more than once.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that helps me a lot when I switch from League.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Okay, so you run top here
Middle
again.
tower is under Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I really think you're focusing too much on trying to be a team player. Like, team play is something that comes after you have, like, the basics down. And I'm not trying to be mean here or anything.
Oh no, I definitely
please.
understand.
Okay. So, like, basically, it's similar to, like, learning a language. Like, here, okay.
Yeah.
Like, in order to learn a language, you need to learn the alphabet. And before you learn the alphabet, you need to learn, like, what sounds are made. Like, what sound an A makes. Like, obviously we know as English speakers that A makes the A sound, but maybe someone coming from a different, backgrounds wouldn't understand that, so they need to learn that.
Right.
So you need to learn like very basic things like last hitting, positioning. You need to learn all these things before you even start worrying about team play,
Okay.
because those are the things that will apply to everything. Even during team play moments. Like you can't have good team play if you can't cast your spells properly,
Right.
and all of that. Okay.
Death to all betrayers.
Dire's middle tower is under
So
attack.
ended up going for CM. We can talk about this, I guess. Let's go forward.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, so you force forward into your Astral. I think that was like your first mistake. Like, I think this is a bad play. Like, just choosing to go for this because you can't kill them fast enough. Like, their team can respond in time, and they do in this case. So, but since you committed, let's talk about it. Like, basically, when you commit an Astral like this, not only are you like committing yourself to the kill and you're using your defensive spell aggressively, which is fine. You can do that sometimes, but basically, when you go for this aggressive play and you Astral like this, you're giving CM 4 seconds to stay alive, guaranteed. Like, she cannot die during that 4 seconds. So you just kind of have to sit here. If your target is CM, you just kind of have to sit here and wait for her to come out now. And Phoenix does like half your HP during this time. Like before CM even comes out, you're at like 75%, and like she doesn't even have to cast a spell for you to die.
Right.
So you basically just like set up a kill on yourself by doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think like now looking at it like right now, it seemed very like why would I even go for that kill? Like it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, you could just be farming or something else and getting gold that way.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But one thing that I was curious about in Dota, is it worth trading 1-for-1 if I scale harder than they do? Because like in League, if I was playing Vayne against like Caitlyn, I'd trade 1-for-1 all day.
It really depends. Like I
Like
can't remember how it works in League, but in Dota, if you die after you kill your opponent, then you get the experience from the kill. But let's say you trade 1-for-1 with Pudge, and he kills you first, and you kill him after you die, like with a right click or something, you don't get the experience, so then it wouldn't be worth it.
That makes sense.
So the experience like part really matters.
Okay, but what if it's like a higher scaling thing? So like because let's say I scale harder than Phoenix to late game, like, and I know we're both gonna die. Even if I die first, is it still worth it? Even though I like got more out of the gold technically.
I mean, it's kind of a weird question, right? Because like it depends on what your deaths entail. If it's just a situation where like you guys are just trading 1v or 1-for-1 and then nothing else happens, like nobody else like farms more or gets a tower, like because one of you died, then yes, it's probably worth it. But the question itself, like when it applies to an actual game, doesn't really make sense because like there's so much that could happen as a result of like both of your guys' deaths.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Alright.
Behold the answer to all life's questions.
Okay. So I don't think watching the rest of this will be like super helpful, but I do want to talk about like some things that will really help you. Basically, like this kind of applies to what I was talking about earlier, where like you can't make team play decisions if you don't have the fundamentals down. So over your next like I almost want to say like 500 or so games, like just over a ton of games, I want you to really focus on just like getting as much as you can out of your lane. And
Okay.
like I don't mean just like veg out and last hit for 10 minutes. I mean like last hit for 10 minutes while you're looking around the map constantly and trying to look for stuff that's happening. But your main focus in the next like 100 games or so should be just farming as much as you can, at least when you're playing mid and when you're playing carry. I really think that will help you a lot because in this game you basically made the game really easy for the enemy team. Like you kept showing yourself in random places like top lane or at this rune, or you ran through a very obviously warded spot bottom. And I think you would really benefit from just like chilling out and farming as much as you can, and like having a TP ready to go to fights or whatever.
Okay.
So we can do a couple of things here. We can continue watching this, which I personally don't think is good, but we can if that's what you want to do. We can also go to a different replay, or we can also just talk Dota, and like I can answer any questions you might have for like the last portion of this.
Yeah, do you want to maybe just like go to the last like 2 minutes and just look at team fights and see if there's any like
Oh, sure.
options?
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so I'll try to speed through and find a team fight. Also, just looking at your build really quick, you have no attack speed items. You have like the 10 agi from Ultimate Orb, but and the the attack speed from Treads obviously, but OD is a hero that really benefits from having attack speed, so you want to keep that in mind when you're building stuff. Like
Yeah.
you have a couple of options. Like you can go Dragon Lance. This is a great item on OD. You can go Moon Shard after you get some HP. This is also really good. What else? Oh, let's look through.
And I see a lot of people build drums on a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like a lot of pros will build drums on a lot of heroes.
Yep.
And I've seen people go drums and like BKB on OD, which is like really weird to me because he seems like a hero that just wants to get int.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing with drums is if you look at the stats and like how much HP attributes damage it gives, it's extremely cost efficient. I can't remember if there are any like equivalent items like this in League, so I can't give you a good example, but basically drums is an item that you should get when you want to fight early or when you need to survive like as early as possible. So like if you're playing against Alina, for example, who is just going to nuke you really hard, and you can't really do much about it, drums is a good option because it will give you 9 strength. You can see 9 all attributes, and that equates to like quite a bit of HP for the amount of gold you spend.
Right.
So that's when you buy drums. To answer the BKB thing, that's like I don't want you to focus too much on that because it's like really weird. It's a timing thing, and it's like that's a team play decision. When you buy BKB on a hero, it's most of the time like because you want a team fight.
Okay.
So don't worry about that so much. Get BKB later on, after you get some attack speed and some int.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, that's definitely game theory that I
Yeah.
would not know.
Right.
So
Okay.
let's see if we can find a team fight. 'Cause I think at this point it's actually 5v5.
Mhm. Okay. Looks like we're just gonna get caught here. Sucks. Yeah. Okay.
I think we ended up winning this fight. They're pretty hard because they just
Really? Oh yeah. All right. So your support Death Prophet ended up doing a lot of stuff. Good stuff. I'll try to skip through.
I'm pretty sure after this though, it was pretty. The game was
Yeah.
firmly. Oh yeah, I think we all died to Phoenix there. But after I think there's a next fight, the game is pretty firmly like ours.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point you're TPing top. You start. Okay, that was slightly incorrect.
Yeah, I thought I could force staff him out after I W'd him, but apparently
Yeah.
you still can't force staff him even though I interrupted the channel.
Well, you can. Yeah. So duel is not channeled. It's basically like you cast it and then the person is stuck there no matter what, unless they move like 1,000 units away or something. I think it's 1,300. Suck. Oh yeah. Okay. Duel will end if the units are pushed 2,000 units apart, and 2,000 units is like, just to put things in perspective, it's like here to about here.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's a really long distance. So basically the correct play here is to Astral Lion and then hit the Legion Commander, because Legion Commander, like even though you Astraled her, the duel is not going to end. They're going to sit there for the duration no matter what. So if you Astral Lion, then Legion will just be stuck here trying to attack the Astral target, and you can be hitting Legion Commander.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And also Lion wouldn't have taken extra damage from Tiny.
Are you helping me out with soup, man?
No, dude. Hey, hang. Give me 1 second.
Why is it so laggy?
No, a friend of mine is helping me go through a replay in Dota right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It doesn't look very good.
Relax.
Use
Alright.
your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, give me like 2 minutes.
What's your MMR?
He's 6.3k.
How do I get better, too?
I'll tell you later, Stefan. We're recording it, so we'll go over it later.
Alright.
Hold on, watch. I need to watch this.
Alright, close the door then. Alright, my roommate's gonna sit in on us.
Yeah,
Sure.
'cause I'm a god safe lane carrier.
Alright, relax, Stefan.
Alright, nice. Okay. So you wanted to watch more team fights, so let's skip through. Alright. Yeah, again, this is like something I noticed earlier too. Like, you just have these periods where you're just doing nothing. Like, it might sound like dickish or whatever, but that's not how I mean it.
No, yeah.
Basically, you really want to like eliminate this period of where you're just like running around, like trying to run to places, and add neutral camps to it, or push out creep waves. Like this would really help you out, like quite a bit. Like here, instead of just sitting mid waiting for the team fight to start, you could be farming and like getting stronger for the team fight.
Right. So it's a lot of like wasted time is my
Yeah.
biggest issue. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because like, I obviously can't stop their push.
Right. Yeah, not solo anyway.
Why shows up? I don't know. Oh, I W myself because I think he had BKB, so I wasn't gonna do any damage to him.
The Legion did, I believe. Yeah, Legion BKB'd.
Yeah.
I think you were a little too scared here. Let's look at it. Alright, so Pudge goes on you later on. Here. Okay, so here Lion has your back. He cancels the Dismember. Legion BKBs. Yeah, you really don't have to be too scared here. It's detrimental to astral yourself here. Like, basically you could have gotten away just fine if you just ran. So right now you're giving them 4 seconds to set up on you. And they don't end up doing it, so it doesn't matter, but...
I think the reason I did that was that this game, I thought that Legion Commander's ult was like pretty like long range, so you could use it as a blink almost, but I learned that it's actually like melee range.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like barely melee range, it's super short range.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'll try to find a team fight.
Is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the dark.
Next fight's gonna be around top, probably. Okay.
I'm not always awake.
Okay, so when Phoenix does this kind of thing, you basically just run away. Like, Supernova is not an initiation skill really, unless like her team is really on the ball and they follow up. Basically, like when she does this, you can just run away, and she can't do anything. Like she's just stuck here in the egg form. And so if you run away, none of you guys take damage, and it's fine.
Radiant's
But
top tower
choosing to engage here is actually like super bad, because now you guys all get hit by it. Whereas like she gave you the option of just running away.
Right, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Let's talk about that. So because you have cheese here, you're being way too scared. Like basically your HP is much higher than it actually is. I'll get your player perspective. Alright. So right here, you could be hitting Legion or Pudge. Probably Pudge is a better target, because like you'll be getting int from him, because Legion is BKB'd. Basically like, you did a couple of things actually. I'll try to go this slower. So right here, your positioning should be somewhere like at the very edge of this cliff, and you should be hitting Pudge. And then you should try to like maintain a tether around Legion. So like whenever she moves towards you, you run back a little bit, and then hit her, and then run back, and then hit her, like a kiter in a way. And this is like, it's just a standard like ranged hero theory, like a first game fight. And also, you got bashed, so you couldn't use your cheese, but yeah, it sucks. Either way, you guys were gonna win the fight no matter what. You're just much stronger. You don't have to try really hard to
I
do
think,
that.
I think we actually end the game like right after this, so if you want to maybe stop watching this one, just go talk a little bit now about like the stuff. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that would be beneficial, I think.
Okay.
I'll keep it on in the background just if I need to like talk about something. But yeah, so basically like when you're at this MMR, basically all that matters is your fundamental skills, and those are like investing in your fundamental skills will get you like higher MMR much faster than focusing on like when to roam and when to like start team fighting or when to control Roshan. Like just focus on like getting the most out of your lane and working on your positioning and farming. Those are like the absolute most important things right now.
Okay.
For sure. Those will help you out like way more than anything. I don't really have too much else to say I think like since you're so new to Dota still, you'll just benefit from playing a lot. Also, like, you seem to do you stick to like 1 or 2 heroes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I do recommend that you play every hero at least once. Like,
Right.
basically, it's hard to play if you don't know what the abilities do, and I think just playing a hero once is enough to like get the gist of it. Like,
Right.
at least you understand what their abilities do. Maybe you don't understand how they're played or whatever, but that's fine. And then after you play them, you can apply what you learned on that hero to like your main heroes. I definitely think that playing 1 or 2 heroes is totally fine. That's probably optimal actually. You can expand your knowledge this way just by like learning how your hero interacts with every other hero in the game and like what spells you need to watch out for with your hero, etc.
Yeah, because there's 2 heroes I've been like. I guess there's 3. I've just playing a lot of Outward Devour and Silencer, and then when I'm support, I like to play Witch Doctor.
Okay.
And those
Yeah,
are
those
kind
are all
of
great.
yeah. But I play Silencer mid. I know that's kind of like a weird thing.
It's sort of weird, but I mean, like it doesn't matter so much. Like, I generally recommend that you just play really basic heroes. Like, you seem to play heroes that like, I mean, there are a lot of nuances to them. They're not easy, but they're simple kits. Like,
Yeah,
OG,
exactly.
you hit people with Arcane Orb and you farm, and then you cast Sanity's Eclipse when you hit them a lot. It's like pretty straightforward. Silencer, same thing. You just hit people with Glaives and Last Word and Global Silence, like when team fights start, etc. Witch Doctor, you throw Cask in team fights and you hit people. Then you cast Death Ward. It's great. But this is a good thing. Like, it's good to play simple heroes because like the fundamental skills apply to every hero, and those are what you need to be working on. And if you're playing Invoker, for example, you need to worry about so much more. You need to worry about like what spells you need to cast and in which order and when to invoke them. And you need to worry about your positioning because your Invoker, you're super squishy. Like, there's so much unnecessary stuff that you need to worry about. Whereas if you're just playing simple heroes, then you're going to focus on the things that matter, the fundamental skills.
Right.
Can you speak to what those fundamental skills are?
Yeah, sure.
That might sound like a stupid question, but just like what exactly you want to be doing on every hero to get the most out of your lanes.
Well, that's a super general question, but I'll talk about the fundamental skills. Like, basically, here, let's open up a nice paint window. Alright, so fundamental skills, last hitting, positioning, and then under that is like spacing, positioning relative to terrain, positioning relative. So positioning relative to terrain, you want to make sure you're not like trapping yourself in random places like in trees or something, or like, you know, sitting in Roche Pit when it's a bad call. And then positioning relative to enemies means like you want to make sure you're not standing where a Pudge can hook you if you're gonna die if he hooks you or whatever. And you need to keep in mind their ability ranges, stuff like that. Another thing is like damage foresight. So like understanding how much damage your hero can do and how much the enemies can do. So this is like I always have trouble wording this one when I explain it, but basically you just want to be able to like predict how much damage. I wish I could type.
I guess like one way that I could kind of think about this is like, especially in League, one thing that's super important that a lot of newer players don't understand is power spikes. So like when level 9, when you have like a level 9 Irelia that just bought a newly built Triforce, like she's gonna be able to do double the damage she was doing to you before. And just understand that like that at that specific time, she is at her most powerful. And I guess that's what you're trying to say there?
Sort of, yeah. It doesn't just apply with power spikes, though. Like, this is
Radiant's bottom tower
power
is under
spikes are
attack.
they're very similar to this, but like this applies to everything rather than just power spikes. But yeah, like what you're saying is definitely like super important. This is another fundamental skill, vision. Okay, vision. So like under vision is warding, sight ranges on heroes. So like every hero has a certain amount of vision during the daytime, and it's like in a circle around them, obviously, and it's affected by terrain, so you can't see up on high grounds. They also have different night and daytime, or night and day vision. That matters a lot, and it's relevant in fights.
So some heroes have more vision than other heroes at night and day?
Yeah. So basically, like, here, I'll pull it up.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
2 vision range. 1 sec. Okay. So blah blah blah. Then there's a list of here of the ones that are different. Most heroes have 1800 day vision and 800 night vision.
There will
That's like the
always be
standard, but
something
these are the
worth
exceptions.
following.
Okay.
But that's yeah, that matters a lot.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah,
is
there
under
are
attack.
like some other fundamental skills too, like basic item builds. Those
Right.
matter. But I think that answers your question.
No, that definitely. Yeah, my roommate just left, but he definitely. I'll tell him the last bit that you said
Okay, sure.
because his parents just came, so it's kind of like he's got to be with them too.
Okay, yeah, understandable. Uh, yeah. So basically, like, key things from this lesson are I really want you to focus on you, like your hero strength, and really just play selfishly. And like if you want to go to a fight, because like you do have to go to fights in Dota, like that's how it works. You can't just sit in your lane the whole time. You want to go into a fight with the mindset like I need to do this for me so I can get golden experience and make sure I don't lose. Like don't go with the intent of helping people, because you can't help people in this game if you don't know how to. Like maybe you can get lucky and cast your spells properly, but you always want to have a plan.
Okay. Awesome. No, I definitely learned a lot. Actually, if you were interested, I'd be willing to do this like every other week, just
Yeah.
because like money's not really an issue for me, thankfully, and it's just I really want to get better at Dota.
Okay.
And so I'm definitely down to like do this around maybe like I don't know, but I'll definitely reach out to you maybe not next week but the week after, and we can kind of go from there.
Okay. Why don't we talk about like that stuff off of the recording, just like to keep it private. Okay, but I am down for that. That sounds cool. Either way, so if you have any other final questions, now's a good time for them, because I'm starting to run out of material here.
No, okay. I actually learned a lot more than I thought I would. Definitely the key takeaways for me were try to focus on myself. Don't really try to worry about being like a team player, because like one thing that kind of got ingrained in me from League is people always say I won my lane, but I still lost the game. Elo hell, hashtag Elo hell, whatever.
Mhm.
And what I always try to do is I'd always like try to force roams and force plays.
Right.
Just because I like, especially if I'm like smurfing, I have superior mechanics and superior understanding and all that, and I can force plays. But definitely, since I'm not at that level, I definitely shouldn't be trying to force plays like I did in a lot of times this game, like going up to Phoenix
Right.
and like the play at the tier 2 tower in top lane. So definitely just learning, like trying to like make myself as strong as possible, farming and trying to think like actually think about, is it good for me to go top? Like, do I know where they are? And just
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
yeah. Oh, sorry, but no, I definitely learned a lot. It definitely helped me clear a lot of my confusion and my basically my mental game theory, and that was very helpful. So thank you.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Well, that's what I'm here for. That's it can be tricky. Like it's very easy to say like I need to address like if this is going to help me or not, but it's really hard to do that in the middle of a game. So I think going through replays like this is quite helpful. Like just to work on your decision making or whatever, or like understand why you're making certain decisions.
No, I definitely agree. Yeah.
No, I'm glad this was helpful. That's good to hear.
No, it's super helpful. Yeah, in fact, probably my roommate will probably talk to you soon. I think he's like the really big Dota guy that got me into it. But yeah, no, that's awesome. This really actually helped me a lot. I know we're actually running out of time, and you're a little bit over time, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but no, definitely. I'll try to reach out back to you probably not this weekend, but definitely probably around mid next week.
Okay,
And I'll try to practice all the things that we talked about. I'll try to play at least like 1 or 2 games a day, if time allows for it. But I think I get at least 1 or 2 games a day for sure. I don't really have too many obligations that require a lot of time. But so definitely so I actually took a couple notes on my own. The first thing is the first thing I wrote was the max amount of CS I can get was 80 by 10 minutes, and I put like shoot for 50. I mean, 50 is like good. Like if I'm at 50 at 10 minutes and lanes are pretty even, like I could say that I've reliably done as good as I could do, but obviously I can always do better.
okay, yeah.
But obviously it's like I should always shoot for 80 if possible.
Right.
But you said like average was 50, 60. So I essentially wrote that down. Another thing I wrote down that I'm going to try to remind myself is before I do any plays that revolve leaving mid, always think about like, is it actually like a good play? And kind of think to myself, at least this is kind of something I guess unique to me, but think to myself, do I know what that hero's capable of? Like, do I know all their abilities?
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect point. Like just stick to cookie cutter stuff, and then if you want to branch out, try to think about what's going to happen if you do.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Well,
Can I ask you some questions regarding which? This is just for fun, off the
Okay.
for safe lane. Like, I want to wreck some safe lane and gain MMR playing carry in safe lane.
you have
Should
the
I be
worst
playing
mindset, dude.
Spectre and just playing Spectre every game?
I mean, you could, or you could improve your overall game and just play any hero that you want to play. But
Okay. Let's
it's
say
perfectly fine.
I am the same MMR as the people I'm playing against.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, if you want to just win games, then you can just pick Spectre, and you know you'll win 60% of your games just because your hero is stupid. Like that's a valid thing.
Just because your hero is stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it is, right? Like let's be real.
If they nerf OD, I'm gonna be so upset, man. Because everybody's like he's got like an insane win rate right now.
Who else would you suggest in the
Uh,
meta, or
Well, it really is like a person-to-person thing. I'll look at the heroes really quick, but Lycan is really good for winning games if you're good at him.
yeah, he
you can
pushes
play
really fast. What type
Sven
of like
is good.
Necronomicon Lycan pushing
yeah.
stuff down? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Necro is AC standard stuff. You just hit buildings the entire time, and it's really hard to play against.
Yeah.
What else? Clinks is really good too, but he's not easy at all.
I've been playing a
Jug
lot
is
of
great.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, Jug is great. Great hero.
Yeah. People really under this. I know you were talking about damage.
Yeah.
Understanding opponent damage, but a lot of people don't understand how much damage he has a level 1 spin. There's a lot.
Yeah, no, he's just a very high damage hero. He's great at all points in the game too, so that's what makes Jug good. Sark is another really good one if you just want to climb MMR. Again, he's like pretty high skill though.
Yeah.
What was he about like mid lane? Besides, or should I just stick with like Silencer and OD right now? Like, there's no really reason to.
Okay, well I don't think there's any reason to switch, but I do recommend like easier heroes normally. I would consider OD and Silencer to be like mid-tier difficulty, like not too hard, not too easy or whatever.
Right, that makes sense.
The heroes that I almost always recommend are Death Prophet, Lina, and Zeus.
Okay.
They're heroes that are like super basic, but you know you can still improve while playing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely recommend those if you want to switch for whatever reason.
I mean, I don't think I will. So I really enjoy playing Silencer and Outworld Devour. Like, I really enjoy playing them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I was just curious like what you thought about that.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Did you have any last questions, Stefan?
No, I was just I know I have a problem with like where my last hitting needs to be better. Well, I have some games that are good, some games that are really bad, like at the 10-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
So consistency for me is what I need to work on. Making sure I get the last hits.
And you want to talk about total games and experience?
What do you mean? Because that's like pretty general.
You put in Skype total game / experience.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I can't remember exactly what I wanted to talk about, but I remember you said something about like only having 500 games or something. And
Yeah, I had like 500 total. That's wins and losses.
yeah, that's wins and losses. Okay. Yeah, Jesus. Holy crap. Yeah, that's barely anything. Like, you basically haven't put in like 1/8 of the time that a lot of 5K players have, and there are also a lot of like people that are still 2K that have played like 8 to 10 times more than you. Like they've just played that many more games. So don't sweat like understanding or not being able to know what every single hero does.
Right.
You actively want to try to learn. Like you want to get that out of the way so you can learn the big stuff. But yeah, don't sweat it. So I think it would be beneficial if you played every hero like once at least. Like just go through the list.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Maybe like one of these days and just play like one normal game with each hero.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question for you actually when it comes to your bindings. And I know usually bindings are from person to person, but I've bound my items on like my number keys. So I have like, my QWR, D, F. I have items on like my numerical keys.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like some unit control stuff on like V, B, those keys.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it is better to go with using like the bottom row of letters as items, because I see that a lot.
Isn't that like personal preference though, like straight up?
Yeah, I mean
It's to an extent it is. There is like a some theory up behind it. So basically it's fine to use the number keys for items because they're very close to like the home row, like where you're gonna have your fingers placed normally, like QWER. That's the standard place. So it's fine to have items there. I think why most people use control groups and these like number keys is because like you have easier access to, like, if you want to switch to your neutral creeps as Jen and then cast an ability, you just hit like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and then, you know, QWER. Like
Yeah.
your fingers are right there. Whereas if you think about how your hand has to move, like if you move your hand down to Z and then you have to hit Q again, so you go from Q to Z to Q, it's like a much longer distance, and you also have to move your hand in like a weird way. So there is some theory behind it, but I think it really is just personal preference. The most important thing is you have access to these keys. Like you want to have these bound for sure.
So I have control groups set up, but they're actually on my like late ladder keys, and they're actually I this might be bad, but I bind them to like stuff I can reach easily on my mouse.
No, that's not bad.
I have 2 control group keys bound on my keyboard. I have V and B. V all units, B all units except for my hero, and I have spacebar actually bound to my hero. So that's usually how I control like multiple units.
Okay.
I have also obviously 2 control groups. I think I have 2 set up for if I play like Chen, which I don't play very often, but
Yeah, I don't even play any heroes.
the thing is I can hit V, B, and spacebar all with my thumb, really like without a
Yeah,
problem.
I think that's completely fine. Like you have a system going there. The
Like,
most important thing is you just have like the option to bind keys if you need them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd probably kill me if I told you how I played video games in general on my computer.
Do I want to hear? I mean,
You probably don't.
okay. Oh, we might have to talk about that later though, because it actually is important.
I
Like,
use
to an
one.
extent.
And I,
Ron only plays with one finger. He hits Q, W, E, R, D, and F with only his left pointer finger, and no other fingers hit buttons. Not 4.
Really?
Not 4 fingers using
Yeah,
Q, W.
I
It's
just-
only his pointer finger.
yeah, that's why I play a lot of Silencer. No,
It's actually why it's impossible to play Invoker.
Oh my god. All right.
One finger.
Relax. Okay, I got to like 20 to 100, and then I maintained a top 0.1% in League, and I was number 1 in World of Warcraft with one finger.
All right. Hold
It's-
on. I'm being dead serious. I swear I don't mean any offense. Do you have like a disability that prevents you from using like the other side of your hand?
No, I don't.
Okay, so definitely, please God, switch, because you really need to. Holy crap, dude, you're that's like so inefficient, man. Like, I mean, even if I guess I can't like diss you because you have like, you know, gotten high rated or whatever in other games, but seriously, if you can learn to use your whole hand, like, this is like that stupid myth where humans only use 10% of their brain thing that everyone seems to believe. Like, you're only using, you know, like 20% of your hands right
Right.
now.
But in my defense, like the reason it worked in WoW was because there was like
Global
cooldown, so I could hit all my buttons before like global.
Okay, yeah, that's valid.
And in League, like everything was cast, and I would actually be able to get like I could hit from Q to R, like get my index finger to that before it would finish casting. So like accounting for cast times, like I could usually hit it as if I had all 4 fingers because like, and I do play Silencer and Outworld Devour, so it's not like I need to click a lot of buttons. The one thing I do though is because on my W and OD I need to sometimes do clutch ones, like if I'm gonna save someone from a sniper, I have it binded to my mouse button, so I can just mouse button it too instead of like hit W if I need to hit it like super fast.
Okay, no. I mean, it's fine. But like you have to think about like what if you ever want to make a play that requires you to have like, you know, remotely decent APM? Like what if you want to blink hex one target and, you know, then immediately astral another target and then like force tap yourself away or something similar? Like if you can do that with one finger, then you're actually a god, but you're making it really hard for yourself.
Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to play with more fingers if you can do that with one finger. Because if you can do that with one finger and have 5 of those.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's-
then that argument is like, even though you could do it with one finger, think about how much you could do with like all 4 fingers, then kind of thing.
Yeah, and maybe it's not like, you know, you'll be 4 times better at Dota or whatever, because that's not how it works. But like even just like, you know, 1.2 times better would be pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's like
a 20% increase, huge for a game.
yeah, exactly. Like you don't have to. I mean, there would be a little period where you have to adjust to playing with it, but I really recommend that you do that, dude. Like
Yeah, I should probably start then. Especially because like if I ever want to get serious in Dota, I need to be able to play like people like Invoker,
Yeah,
which
if
you
ever
can't
play
do with one
Invoker,
finger.
Yeah, you can't play with one finger.
yeah, it's. I mean, you could, quote unquote, but
And
Yeah,
everyone
right.
has done it. He's won games on Invoker. Like that's
Well,
check.
I mean, to be
two-
fair, like the new Invoker is basically like a 2-button hero. So
Alacrity and what is it? QQQ freeze or whatever? I can't remember the name.
yeah, it's Cold Snap. It's actually
Yeah.
absurd, but whatever. We're not here to talk about broken heroes.
All right,
Right.
awesome, man. Hey, anyway, this was really helpful. Thank you so much. I'll definitely keep in touch. And
Okay, cool.
yeah, thank you so much. And I don't really want to take any more of your time, but again, yeah, this is really helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, no worries. I'm glad I could help, dude. If you have any questions later on, just feel free to Skype me. I don't bite.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. Have a great night.
All right, cool. You too. Good luck.
Bye bye.
Peace.